Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This week we have the objective, as I mentioned before, of landing on the moon. No, not landing on the moon. That's next week. Or the week after, actually, that will be. The objective for this week is to get in orbit around the moon, so I'm building a thing. That doesn't actually need a person in it, it's just going to be a satellite, so it just needs a satellite blob. So let's have that. And let's add some utilities onto it. First things first, blah blah blah, boring stuff. Batteries and all that crap. Solar panels. Oh my god, that looks so cool. I'm having more of them. Okay, they extend when we're in flight, so that's going to look awesome. Got batteries. Now we need some reaction wheels, because they'll just... Oh no, that's too big. That's too big as well. How irritating. What about this one? No, that's way too big. Because otherwise it's going to be a bugger. Actually, it doesn't matter if this is a bugger to turn, because this little section of it will never actually have to turn. So let's add... What was I even going to do? I have no idea. Oh, I need some yes, gas. That's what I need. So where's the gas machine? That gas machine's too big. So a tiny gas machine there. How much does that hold? 50. Let's add some more of these around the edge just to be sure. Can't hurt. I know this thing looks ugly as fuck, but I don't care. I'm just building a very basic probe on the top here. Then I think that's actually the probe complete. So let's put a detachment thing there, a decoupler, that's what we call them. That one's huge. Still haven't got used to which ones are which size now, apparently. Okay, let's just say that works. That looks ugly. We've got a tiny one. Yes, we have got a tiny one. Oh, Bubby. Let's put the Bubby decoupler on. And is there a kind of slightly not ridiculously biginator? Or not? You know what? That actually kind of works. I'll go for that. Am I now on kind of like standard size? Like the size that all the shit is? Yes, I am. Excellent. So, let's now build the orbital engine. So this is the one for when we're fucking around in orbit. Let's have one of these fuel tanks, because I like the look of them. And, as ever, I've done a bit of fucking around between episodes to know what works well. I've learned these things, these LVN atomic rocket motors, even though they're not actually atomic rocket motors, which annoys me. We can effectively treat them as if they are atomic rocket motors, because they are nice and efficient once you're in the air. Atomic rocket motors in real life don't use fuel. Don't use liquid fuel, they use atomic fuel, which these just use normal liquid fuel. But it's only a slight inaccuracy. I'm sure I can overlook it. Let's put those on there, just for that section. The satellite, I want to use these ones because it'll look cooler. But, anyway. So let's have another decoupler on the bottom of this. This is kind of, that's the main oh no, let's add some... Actually, I'll do that later. This is the main bit for when I'm kind of jimming around in orbit. So let's... Nope. Let's decouple that there. Well, it's actually attached to that. That might actually help. There we go. Then I'll have an adapter biginator. And let's put the big bastard tanks on the bottom here. So I'll have one big bastard there. And let's attach other stuff to the side of it. Choose these radial decouplers. 8! No, that's a bit too much. 6? I'll go with 6. 6 is nice. Let's put 6 of them big fuckers on the side. Ah, it's starting to look ridiculous already. Excellent. I always like it when my creations look ridiculous. Let's put Johnnies on the end of them. Good. And we want some, these are our main engines to get us into orbit, so let's put some big fuckers on the bottom of these. Can't do that apparently. Why not? Can I have a good reason why? Oh, thank you. I knew you. You're nice, really. You're just being a dick for some reason. Right, let's kind of tighten this up a bit with some structural supports going across there, and across there, and then 2 in the middle to the middle. Then I'm going to do something clever. No, that, for some reason that one didn't actually flow for some reason, so let's just reconnect that. Awesome. Now, fuel lines introducing. These are something, basically, they channel fuel from one tank to another, so what I'm going to do is connect every tank that way to the inside. Didn't work. Okay. Let's try that again. I'm going to connect every tank to the inside tank. There we go, now they're all attached to it. And so what that means is the inside tanks will draw fuel from the middle tank will draw fuel from the outer tanks first, which means the outer tanks will deplete faster, but then I can drop them, and when I drop them, the inner tank will still be completely full and ready to burn. It just makes things my slight there. I tried to say minorly, and then I remembered that's not a word. Then I tried to say slightly and forgot how to say it. So all in all, not successful. Then we'll just finish off by just to give myself a bit of an extra kick up the arse out of orbit. Let's put some solid rocket motors, because they're always good fun. I then plan to use the modified form, if this works, which I hope it does, I plan to use like a modified form of this to get because this will get in orbit around the moon, then I'm going to have a modified one with a bit of extra stuff attached to actually land on the moon. Now let's just add a tiny bit more stuff. Don't need to bother with fuel lines or anything on these, because these are solid fuel. Just kicks up the arse. Let's do the same little joiny thing with these structural struts, because that works well. Just join them at the top, join them at the bottom, and join into their thing they're joined to in the middle, and the explosives will be strong enough to sever them. And then let's put hats on them as well. Mip. And mip. Doesn't this look legit already? And I built it very quickly. Well done me. And let's just put these launch jimmies on them, because again, why not? Can't hurt. And let's give it a name. So it needs a serial number first, because this is the way I name them. So let's have DK42 Batman. So it's the Batman satellite, which I'm attempting to put in orbit around the moon. Let's save that, in case something goes badly wrong. And as for staging, now this is going to be set up in a somewhat more interesting way. Normally I'd skip out the staging, but I'll show you it here, because this is weird. So firstly, right on the bottom stage, I'm going to put the main engines. So those 6, and plus that one, is it? Yes. All of those 6, before, interestingly, even the launch gantries release. You'll see why shortly. The launch gantries then go on the next one. So basically, what this means is we can kind of spin the rockets up to their full speed, then launch the whole rocket and the solid rockets. Basically means that I can have a constant thrust out of the bottom ones. Looks like a real rocket, so let's add all these 12 together, because these are the ones that should... Those 6 and those 6 are the ones which will separate the solid boosters when they're burned. Then next we use that one, which should... Let's just check on the top. Yep, that's going to separate those outer ones, at which point the middle one will still be full. Then we cut that one, which exposes the atomic rocket, and then we burn the atomic rocket, and then finally we detach all of it, and we've got the satellite in orbit. Hooray! This seems way too simple. So there's something I need to add, actually. I knew that was something I needed to add. We need utility, or is it control? We need some RCS thrusters, so let's have some up on there. Let's have some on there. More of these you get, the better, easier it is to control the fucker while it's trying to be in orbit, so... yeah, that'll do, let's say. And... yeah, on this section... let's just move that down a sec, hope I don't break anything. Clunk that on there. That'll just give me some slight more torque to play with for not RCS, SAS, because the command module didn't actually come with much or anything in it in terms of reaction wheels. And I want to rely on the RCS gas as little as possible, because that's a usable resource. Again, seems too easy. That seemed to be built very quickly and efficiently, which really unnerves me. Though I say quickly and efficiently, it has been nearly 10 minutes. Right then, here we are. This is the Batman. On the launch pad, there were some slight issues, so like 20 minutes passed me there between building this thing and putting it on the launch pad, mostly to do with time. It was night time, I wanted to change that. Oh, I didn't put any tail fins on it, so it's not going to be that stable in flight. Okay, let's try this then. Throttle it up a little bit, only a little bit, I know what I'm doing here, and fire. Okay, and launch. Holy shit! We're up. We're up. It may start spinning, but it's up. And looking quite good, if I do say so myself. This fine sunrise. I like how the solid fuel boosters, one of these launch struts apparently never fired. That one there, oh well. The reason I keep the main engines dialed down is that I like to allow the solid thrusters to do the bulk of the thrusting, thus saving me fuel, but I have them on for a little push, and so that they're properly sped up when it's, when it actually, what am I trying to say? I have no idea what I'm trying to say. Yeah, when it actually needs them, then they'll be probably dialed up to the speed I want them at, which is about a quarter. You'll see soon when I detach the solid thrusters that basically the liquid ones, at first I will start to, not slow down, but actually no, I will start to slow down, but then I'll start to pick up without actually having to change the throttle at all. Right, let's detach them. Oh, that looks so cool. I love it when radial ones detach. Right, as you can see, if you look at the speed now, I am slowing down, but I start slowing down slower, and then pretty soon I'll start speeding up again, which is mostly due to the fact that A, fuel is being burnt, and B, we're moving higher in the atmosphere. So, there we go, I've now stopped slowing down, and now I'm speeding up again! Because, yeah, we're higher up in the atmosphere, so there's less air resistance, and we're burning fuel, so there's less weight for us to carry, meaning that we can keep the thrust constant and yet still speed up. So now all we just need to do is gain vertical altitude. Vertical altitude as opposed to horizontal altitude. I'm an idiot. So basically I'm just going to keep the burn pretty constant where it is at 11,000. And no, not at 11,000. We are at 11,000. I'm going to keep the burn constant, which will cause us to accelerate until we reach around 20,000 or the second atmospheric barrier there, depending on which happens first. Then we'll actually, yeah, we'll go for 20,000. Then I'll start doing the gravity turn. Because at the moment, if we look at the projected map, it's kind of just up and down again. Whereas a gravity turn will tilt us that way, so we actually start orbiting. Which is awesome. We're accelerating more now. I'm going to dial these thrusters up a bit, just to help with the acceleration and all that. Oh, we're starting to spin. That can't be good. Let's dial these back down. Wobbly, 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 not good. And let's do the gravity turn. Let's put the RCS on to assist with the gravity turn. Gravity turns basically to about 45 degrees. I'm wobbling around a lot, so that's going to be interesting. Let's find out the resources to make sure I don't run out of monopropellant or anything. There we go. So now we should be starting to get... Oh god, that's an ugly angle of the orbit. So that's going to make it a bugger to get to the moon. Oh well. We're in orbit now. That's good. Looking cool, still rested against the sun, like a badass. And now let's just stick at this angle. We'll be dropping the other tanks soon, so we should be able to accelerate more. See, that's the thing, they all look like they're empty, but once I drop the outer tanks, the inner tank will still be full, and able to push me more. Which is the plan. I'll run out very soon. Like now. There we go. And let's ditch them. See, this one is now still burning and on full speed, which is awesome. Well, not full speed, full fuel, I meant. Oh god, what the hell, I meant to... Oh, so you can see the... Well, that's the Kraken 2 there. That's the previous Batman. There's already a Batman in orbit around the moon. Fuck, I forgot to destroy it. Basically, I managed to do this before already, which is why it looks like I'm so good at it. It's not because I'm fantastic, it's because I practiced. Well, not even I practiced, I successfully did it and filmed it. Then the film corrupted, as I think I mentioned last episode. But what I meant to do was destroy the remains of that old Batman so they wouldn't be there. But apparently they still are. But nonetheless, it means I kind of know what I'm doing. I know that Batman was very similar to this Batman, and I knew it was capable of getting to the moon, so this one should be. Let's turn up the thrust a little bit, and see if I can get this into a nice orbit. If we just burn towards the yellow mark constantly, that should keep expanding the orbit until I can start doing some orbital corrections with the other little engine, and that little engine should be enough to get me to the moon as well. I did not have one of those on the original one, so I haven't actually tested this atomic rocket motor to getting to the moon particularly. So that should be very interesting. Got a lot of fuel left in this big central tank though anyway, so I can burn this for a while. Let's wait, and so I'll just drift a bit further up my orbit now. Just because then that'll make what I was just doing kind of more efficient the higher up I am in the orbits. Let's do that now, and switch somewhere over here. Thrusters go a bit mental, but oh well, for the RCS thrusters. And let's burn again. And we're sliding back. What a bastard. This ship is fighting me. Why do they always fight me? Oh, it's starting to wobble. I think the RCS is kind of stopping it from breaking apart, which is always nice. I do like it when my ships don't break apart. The apoapsis is getting ridiculous on this thing. Nearly expanded it enough, actually. Let's cut the engines again. And I'm going to actually set a maneuver for just before the apoapsis to circularize the orbit, because I'm trying to do it manually, but it's being a bugger. No, don't want the blue one, never the blue one. Well, obviously use the blue one a fair bit, but for this one I want to pull that one. Should widen out the orbit. What would the periapsis be on there? Oh, more than enough, excellent. Pull it actually back in a bit. No, pull it back in a bit. There we go. Oh, and I'm in almost completely the wrong orbital plane. Excellent. Fuck this. Right, so we need to burn for 9 seconds. That's going to be easy. We've got 9 seconds left in the fuel. Let's rotate to where we need to be. This craft has still got a lot of inertia, so it rotates very slowly. Well, more I'm rotating it very slowly to make sure it doesn't, like, over-rotate, which would be very easy to do. How long have I got until I need to burn? 12 minutes. Okay, good. Let's just carefully, very carefully use the speeder. It's very easy to overestimate with that. And just like, oh, I'll just have the speeder on, but next thing you know, it's like, oh, the node is in minus 20 minutes, and like, oh, well, I might have missed a little bit. 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's slow it down there, I think. Those two are probably going to nearly line up, actually, when we're there, because that's basically what I'm doing. Whee! Let's go. And I've missed it. Bollocks. I haven't missed it, I'm just drifting off it for some ungodly reason. That'll do. Let's burn there. Wah! Stick on it. Come on, ship. You can do this. Good ship. Whee! Come back here, you. No, you. Go. Whoa, the camera, help! Oh, God. Okay, right. Did that do what it was... It did do what it was supposed to. How unusual.